Every single day, fitness coaches leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table simply because they don't know how to close their sales calls. Now, most fitness coaches will blame the lead. They're not qualified, they don't have money, they're a tire kicker. But most of the time, it's because you simply miss something on your radar. It's usually one or two things that the lead said which could have landed you the deal that you missed. Over the past 3 years, I've trained dozens of fitness coaches on how to properly identify any red flags, any warning signs with their lead, be able to nip it in the bud and still get the deal. These fitness coaches have gone on to sign $4,000 deals, $5,000 deals, $20,000 months, $30,000, $40,000, you name it. And it all comes down to the sales call. So if you can tune your radar to pick up on limiting beliefs, any red flags, and any tiny little things that could derail the deal, you'll not only close more, but you'll make significantly more money. So in this live call recording, I sit down with one of my clients and review her sales call with a very psychologically challenged lead. I break down all the tiny things that she missed and what she could have said to close the deal. This one is jam-packed with value, so I highly encourage you to take out a notepad and pen, watch the whole way through, and if you do this well, you will close many more of these difficult prospects. So without further ado, let's get into it. This lead has kind of been on and off with fitness, right? She had a weight loss transformation a couple of years ago. She's still holding on to a bit of fat. And so that's kind of as much as her physical state goes. In terms of the psychology issues here, you'll see this lead suffers with cope. She finds it very, very difficult to admit that where she is not in a good place. She's currently going through therapy at the moment. She's learning different ways to manage her own emotional state. But there was a really, really, really big key tell. I don't want to spoil it just yet because, again, I don't want to ruin your guys' understanding of this lead if you're coming into a call like this completely fresh. But it's very easy to spot. Early on in the call, you can tell this lead buys their own bullshit a lot. They're conditioned that way. This is what she believes about herself in the call. And it's so important that you can pick this up for your leads as well, because if you know this really quickly, you can use it to your advantage. If you know that a lead suffers with accountability, or they don't like to address the elephant in the room, or they're suffering with cope, they don't want to face their issues head on, you can use it to your advantage. Okay? So this is one of those leads. Let's get into it. This was actually a very interesting review. Okay, we're going to watch through some of this so you guys can gather information about this lead, okay? I think this is a good place to pick it up.
It's a really sporadic schedule. So like, for example, I'm doing fieldwork 3 days this week. Now I'm in the office for 2 days. Next week I'll be doing fieldwork for 4 days, and fieldwork can range from starting at like a normal kind of time to like a lot of times I'm starting fieldwork at 7 in the morning and I may be going until 4 or 5 o'clock at night. But then the next day, if I'm in the office, maybe I'll work a little bit less because I worked 12 hours this day. So now this Friday, because I already worked 12 hours, I'll work 4 hours. And like my schedule can be like the field work I have next week, I got put on like 3 days ago. So like it's hard to plan sometimes around it. And also like after a long day in the field, it is exhausting because a lot of it is sometimes physically laborious, like moving generators around and like putting like pumps 300 feet down a well, and that's very heavy. And like, so sometimes coming back from like the end of the day, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is pick up weights.
Right. So again, when you're comparing to college time.
Okay, so right away we can tell she is fully bought into the belief that she's very busy and she's doing this and doing this. And sometimes when I come home, I just don't want to do the work. Right? I'm just too exhausted. She's fully bought into this idea. Okay, you can see in the way that she is selling her situation to Bridget. So when you get on the call with prospects that are very similar, they're very enthusiastic about how difficult it is for them to get in shape. They have a stance, there's a stake in the ground that my situation is more unique or it's more difficult than the rest, which is why I couldn't get in shape. It's because I'm doing this and I have this. That's the reason why. Okay. So Bridget, what I noticed oftentimes for you is when she goes on these rants, giving these excuses, you will buy into her frame. I'm going to highlight some sections. You guys have probably done this as well on your calls, but very important to be aware of. Let's see if I can get this part. It's at around 12 minutes.
I'll like shove my face full of chips and cheese.
Right. And that's the hard part. And
Yes and no. It probably doesn't help when I am maybe like at home. But when I'm say out and about, and I mean, I'm a big foodie. I like my good food.
I hear you on that. I hear you.
I think when I'm kind of out and about and I'm
Okay, so right there, I'm a big foodie. What does that typically mean if you're talking to a weight loss client?
The fat.
Right. Either they are carrying excess fat or what has led them to being fat in the first place.
Food, bro.
Right.
They overeat.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. So someone who's very logical about this situation will explain, yeah, I overeat or I indulge. I'm aware of this. Someone who's very unaware of their problem or they're aware of it but they're avoiding addressing the problem will try and label it with colorful language. What's a more fun way to label I can't stop myself from eating? I'm a foodie.
Foodie.
Right. So, as part of improving your radar, you need to scan for people who are trying to sugarcoat their situation. And who by now is starting to pick up on this prospect, Alyssa, on her energy, right? Very bubbly and very this is this. And she's really trying to sugarcoat her situation. So, yeah, Asan?
Quan and I had a chat about this the other day. He said, like, Quan made a really good point. He said that people often, like, will blabber and chat absolute nonsense when they're uncertain or they are trying to sugarcoat things and dance around the issue. And it's usually, like, the best thing that you can do is just pierce right through that. And it basically, like, use a pattern interrupt or just cut through it and just say, whoa, listen, let's just stop and basically, again, wrestle back your frame.
Yep, exactly. And that is exactly what I was going to say next, which is the only way to combat this is to literally be a polar opposite force. This kind of lead, let me just ask you, right? So far, you guys have only seen about a minute worth of this lead's conversation. What kind of friend group do you think she has?
The ones that, like, big her up all the time.
Yep.
Yes, man.
Yes, men. Yes, women.
Yes, men. Yes, women. Bridget, what kind of friend group do you think she has around her?
Probably similar to what they were mentioning, and then people who aren't as focused on fitness in a
Yep.
large scope view.
Great. Another word for it as well is people that coddle her. You guys will see later on she has a boyfriend that she goes to try and solve her problems, and when he couldn't solve all of her problems, she goes to therapy. And the therapist is trying to give advice. We can actually use the advice to our advantage later on, you'll see. But in general, her friendship group is just like her. And so when she's in a situation where she's talking to you, Bridget, she's bringing this energy. This is her, as we call it, frame. And it's a fucking strong frame. It's very sneaky because you think she's sweet and you think she's soft. No, this is how she's convinced everybody in her life that her situation is unique. She cannot get fit. She cannot prioritize it because of X, Y, Z. Please buy into my excuses like I buy into them. The only way to win this deal, this conversation here, is not to be the friendly one. Is not to be buddy-buddy with her. It is, as Asan said, you have to pierce right through all of it. Because right now, she's winning. And all throughout the discovery, she was winning. Because this is her frame. I'll play a few more things and you'll notice where you start to buy into it. Okay? And for you guys as well, you might think it's subtle if you agree with the lead. But it's the tiny things. If you don't address it, she'll steamroll you in the conversation. Does that make sense? Cool. Quan, did you have anything?
No, I just gave you a thumbs up. Makes sense.
Okay, cool. Let's keep going. So, I'm a foodie. Bang.
I hear you. I think when I'm kind of out and about and I'm like eating at a restaurant, it can be helpful then, just because then I'm not, I feel like it makes it easier for me to like, because I mean, a lot of restaurants obviously put portions in front of you that are way too much. So it can be helpful then, but probably at home, I think I need to be probably preparing meals better, which I don't. And then my schedule of kind of like, I'm not always at my apartment and my schedule is so sporadic. So like sometimes like this week I'm meeting with my parents. Next week I'm with visitors. The week after that I'm at my boyfriend's parents' house. So I don't always have the ability to like meal prep or grocery shop. I feel like I'm kind of scrambling for food sometimes.
Excuse after excuse after excuse. Who else here on this call is busy? Who travels? Cool. You guys have all figured it out. You found a way to eat right. What about your clients? Do you work with busy people? Right. Have you helped your clients get a result? Do they look better now than when they walked through your door initially? Right. So who has the most conviction on this call? Is it you knowing that you've figured out a way for people even busier than her or than your lead or her. Excuse after excuse. Who has the most conviction here on this call? Hormozi always explained that sales is a transference of conviction. One of you is buying someone's thing, right? So for her, it's, oh, I'm always busy. I'm traveling here. I'm traveling here. If we really backed ourselves, the only next thing is to rebut that. Essentially, this lead is living in the problem. She's not thinking about solutions. She's very much caught up on her issue. She's living in the problem. As coaches, as people taking these calls, we have to live in the solution. So as what Sam said, it's confronting it head on. Well, cool. This is your situation. Do you want to change it? The more she's talking about how bad it is, it's actually to our advantage. But it's big and have all these issues. Okay, wow. So why are you here on this call? Do you actually want to make a change? Yes, I do. Okay, well, what stopped you from making a change in the past? Oh, well, this. Right? It's going to be more excuses, but you're finding like the little gap in everything. The perfect pitch through all of her excuses. Some things you will just need to confront head on. Right? And we'll get into some of her delusion later on. I'm trying to be as nice about this lead as possible. Right? It's not her fault. She's been conditioned this way. To Danny's credit, him introducing that language has been really helpful. She's been conditioned this way. It's not her fault. She's been conditioned, but we have unique opportunity. If we don't address it, she's gonna leave and she's gonna keep living her life, and it's our fault, right? Okay. So let's keep going. We're gonna fast forward to one micro section here. I've reviewed some of your guys' calls, and quite a few of you do this. If a lead says something that's clearly like it just is out of line or doesn't make sense, whatever, you guys typically will take center stage and explain from your perspective why it's bad or X, Y, Z, but you rob them of their ability to own their situation. So we'll play it from here, and you guys will hopefully understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm. And if how you've been going about using that tool keeps leading to the same thing, right, where you come back off track, have a little bit of that struggle on that in-between, tracking, intuitive, hey, how do I do this all with all the traveling, all the work?
Yeah.
It might not just be as simple as trying harder, right? Because let's say you do try harder with what you're doing now.
Yeah.
What do you think will end up happening?
That's actually really solid. I think that's totally fine.
I thought it was a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fine. It's what happens after is what I was getting to.
Probably burn myself out, honestly. I'm probably gonna just fall out of everything. And that's the thing. I don't wanna hit that point where I'm like, I don't even want to weights anymore, because this is so like
I know.
exhausting.
You're breaking my heart hearing that too, because again, very common feeling, right? You've recognized you've built strong foundations with the gym, right? In terms of getting it in, getting the consistency with it, and to have that fear behind it of food potentially taking you out of the gym, that's crazy. Like that is something that's like we don't want that, right?
Yeah.
So let's do.
Who doesn't want that? You or her? You can absolutely carry a tone of empathy, which is good, but you don't want to take these words out of her mouth. So if he was saying, it would be terrible if I just gave up on the gym altogether, it would be awful if you did that. What question can you ask where she can say all of that? It's a really simple one. Here she's, I'll burn myself out. It's like, wow, burning out. What would happen if you burned out? What would happen if you just gave up on the gym? Oh, wow, then this. And is that what you're willing to allow? No, it's not. Right. Instead of you saying all of this, she can own it. Because right now, if you look at the dynamic here, you've said all of this. It's breaking my heart, blah, 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 blah. And her response to that? Yeah. Right? She's not really able to own much, is she? Right? So, that was the micro thing here. The big thing, Bridget, that you and I have been working on is how to pick up really small things. Asan, I know in our, I think way back in our Loom review, it may have been that big one or maybe a little bit earlier. The big emphasis that we had was how to tune your radar correctly, right? I'll play this section and I just want you to tell me what you pick up and what advice you would give to Bridget on what to look for, how to tune her radar correctly. Okay, we're just gonna go from like here. We're gonna play a pretty solid section, right? Maybe 3 minutes.
Feels like the same thing.
Actually, no, a bit more.
Why is that so important to you, though?
I think I struggle with just like self accountability. Like I'm not very good at holding myself accountable. I'm someone who definitely wakes up and sees dessert out and will eat that for breakfast. And I just like I know better. Like there are times where I can look at something and be like, walk away. I'm walking away. I can eat something else first. But then like I hit other moments where like these moments of weakness and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna eat the cookie for breakfast because it's there. And I want it. So I feel like accountability is important for me there because I don't know, I think it just keeps it's like a reminder of like, okay, well something there's someone else there like I was gonna ask you about. There's someone else. Just like when I'm doing work and I'm like working on a report for like a month. I have been setting up like weekly check-ins with project manager, and part of that is just to help me not procrastinate. And it's like a self check-in of like, okay, well I have to talk to this person on Friday, so I have to have things done because I cannot enter this meeting. And then guidance, I feel like that's just a way of having somebody who has the experience and has the.
Why is that so important to you now, though?
I think I just want to, I guess, try it to see if I can see more progress in that way. Just try something new because I feel like what I've been doing is not working as well as it has been. Like kind of talking about like that plateau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha, Alyssa. So when it comes to all the things you really dislike or want to avoid in a fitness program, what does that look like to you?
Like what cutting out certain foods is a big thing for like any. Like I tried Noom before, like back when I was in college, and like part of the reason I did actually like that at first was because it encourages you to still eat everything.
Okay.
While balancing out certain foods. So like you had kind of your red, your yellow, your green foods, and you're like, okay, you can still eat. Or it was like,
okay, Alyssa. So let's say we're able to provide that structure around training, around food, without it being too restrictive or overwhelming, so that you can focus on your staples, have the variety you're looking for, but not too much variety. And guidance for how to make those adjustments when those struggle points do come up with workouts so that we can lose the fat, continue to build muscle, and just break this plateau.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be looking to move forward with something like that now, or is it more of a later thing?
Probably now, because my schedule's not going to change. It's always going to be like this. I feel like I've been that type of person who's kind of like, okay, well, I'll like wait to fix things for when I'm living with my parents, it'll be better. Okay, when I'm living with my aunt, it'll be better. Okay, when things are like this, it'll be better. And like, it's not going to. Like, this is going to be my schedule for the next probably 5 years. Like, it's not going to change. It's going to be this way.
Right.
Okay. What have you picked up? We'll start with this on.
So, a couple things. She said, like, Bridget asked you, like, why do you want to do this now? And she said, oh, well, I guess I want to try something new. That's not strong enough for someone to drop, a lot of money on.
Yeah.
So we have to dig deeper and understand, like, what do you mean you want to try? Because, for the last 20 minutes, you've basically been telling me that this is something that's really getting you down, right? So it's obviously not working. She then labels it as a plateau. And I think just by labeling her situation as a plateau undersells the true weight of what's going on.
Yep.
And again, she just masks the whole thing, saying, I guess I want to try something new. So she's saying like, oh, this is a nice to have, but a nice to have is not good enough. So we need to dig deeper as to like, why is she saying something so surface? The other thing as well, the other big one is when you said, oh, so is this something you want to do now? She said, probably now. Probably is, again, it's like, there's no certainty behind that. And again, people only buy certainty.
Yep. Bang on.
That's excellent, bro.
Yeah, really good. Bridget is here, by the way. I think Bridget's in the car.
No, I know.
But she is here. There was one more thing as well. Any takers? Did anyone pick up on it? There's one more thing. It's so important, in fact, it ended up costing the deal. It was the single objection she brought up repeatedly. Yep.
Did it have something to do with the Noom thing?
No.
She was saying, okay.
No. It's one word. I'll give you a hint. It's one word. All right. And it ultimately cost the deal. No one knows?
Is it one word?
Yeah, it's one word. It's the ultimate buzzword. No one knows? Yep. Sam?
The accountability.
Bang. Bang. That's it.
Damn. Sam,
Yeah.
you should do the sales course, bro.
Right here, listen to what she says. It's crazy.
Well, she spoke Chinese, bro.
Why is
Look at
that so important to you, though?
I think that I struggle with just like self accountability.
Ain't nothing Chinese about that, motherfucker. She said it with her chest. I struggle with self-accountability.
Nah, bro, look at the next block of words, bro.
Oh,
Somo, and then introduce yourself, bro. That's part of the CCP.
All right, let me play the through. Let's see what Chinese
That's
she
Sam's
says.
girlfriend, bro.
Is it?
So when it comes to all the things you really did,
Wait.
I think that I'm self accountable. I'm someone who definitely wakes up and sees dessert out and will eat that for breakfast. And
Okay. So this, she brought up right towards the end. And if you guys can remember, right, who here remembers Alex Hormozi's like offer value equation? Okay, what are the 4 components?
Time,
No,
guarantee.
be specific for each one.
Wait, like what makes a good offer?
What are the components of the equation? The increase, the decrease.
I remember.
Jeez, guys, this is fundamentals. This is business 101. What's going on?
This is in November, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 years ago. All right, I'll break it down. So, on the top line of the equation, everything we're increasing is the dream outcome. It's going to be like this. We're going to give you this. It's going to be amazing. Boom. We're increasing the likelihood of achievement, the perceived likelihood of achievement, right? There's actually 3 components there, which we'll come back to. One of these is why she didn't buy. Everything below is what we're decreasing in the prospect's mind. We're decreasing the amount of time it's going to take for them to see the result. This is also a huge thing that we didn't address in this call. I'm going to fast forward to it just after this, okay? And the other thing is we're decreasing the amount of effort or time it's going to take, right? Which is, for her, a busy person, huge. The 3 components of increasing someone's likelihood of achieving the result. A perceived likelihood that, yep, if I pay you, I'm going to get the result I want. What are the 3 components? It's, have you achieved the result for yourself? Have you helped others just like me achieve the result? And how likely do I feel that I can achieve the result? Even if you've done it yourself, even if you've done it for other people, how likely do I feel that I can achieve the result for me? So, as part of our radar, if somebody says, I've always struggled with self-accountability, we ain't moving forward. This is going to cost us the deal. Because what ended up happening, Bridget, for the whole pitch, you were essentially pitching your features, your benefits, cool. But the one thing that you avoided was addressing this limiting belief for her. Your program is great. And every time she brought up this objection, we won't have time to go through it on this call, but every time she brought up the objection, the way that you would handle it is by asking her, okay, well don't you feel like having the nutritionist, having 24/7 support would help you X, Y, Z? And of course her answer is, well, yeah, I do. Who's going to say no to that? Yeah, I do feel like it. But we weren't addressing the root cause, which was, I don't have enough belief in myself that I'll do it. Well, we can dig into it. I'll talk to you in a second. Why, right? Why do you feel this way about yourself? And I'll show you that the order that we break down that objection is going through why she feels this way about herself, what event in her life or events led her to develop this limiting belief about herself, breaking that, then reminding her of when is the last time she did succeed, and it was when she had her first weight loss journey, and attributing that common trait to what's happening now. That's the only way to help someone get over their self-limiting belief. Let's keep going, all right? We're about to get into another kind of juicy section here, but so far, who understands what I'm getting at with some of these leads is tuning your radar to be aware of their excuses, their limiting beliefs, and not moving forward until you address it. Yeah? Cool. So far, I'll kind of summarize what's happened, right? Because it'll be too long if I just play through everything. Essentially, this lead, most of the time when she's talking about her desires, she's talking about, yeah, I want to get stronger. I love feeling it. You know, I love feeling good when I'm stronger. I can lift more. Cool. Fine. But there's other things going on here. She's sprinkled in there that she's been on a weight loss journey. She struggles to stay consistent with her food, that she snacks a bit. That is not contingent of somebody who is fit and healthy. She has a weight loss issue. Even though she hasn't explicitly mentioned it, we know now that's only a symptom of cope. She's just masking the pain. She's not bringing forward the most obvious, most painful thing. Okay? But here in this section, she finally does explain what it's like for her dealing with her current physique. Okay? Now you'll notice this is one of the only times she brings this up. The rest of the call, she's like, oh, I want to be stronger. Bridget, the mistake that you make is falling for the trap. You make her whole desire, her goal about wanting to get stronger, but not addressing the weight loss issue, where the real pain is. Okay?
I would like to feel less concerned about injuries. I want to feel like I want to feel my muscle, like even as I'm moving. Like I just want to feel like it's there. It doesn't need to be super defined. I don't need to be sick. I don't think my body is meant to look that way. I'm very okay with the fact that I'm probably not meant to be super skinny, and that's okay. But I feel like I just want, even if I am not bigger, but even if I have like a bigger frame, I want to feel strong in it. Like I want to not feel as soft. I don't think I need to be super fine. I'm not really looking to compete in anything, but I just want to feel like when I put on an outfit, I'm not trying to maybe hide my fat, or that when I turn sideways in the mirror, like I'm just feeling more confident in myself, and like not looking in front of the mirror, looking at my stomach or like the way my back looks. And I'm just feeling like good, healthy and strong is probably just the feeling that I want.
Kwan's looking at this with so much skepticism.
Bunch of cap, bro.
Yeah,
there's so much ammo there.
Yeah.
So much. The biggest one is the confidence thing.
Oh yeah.
That's huge.
Yep. She like, you can clearly tell when she puts on the mask right here when she's talking about the fat. Okay? Just pay attention, like her face.
I want to not feel as...
And the tone of her voice as well when she's explaining, like, I don't want to worry about the fat and this. She's like embellishing it. She's sugarcoating it. She's making a joke. She's making it lighthearted. But that is where the fucking real pain is at.
Soft. I don't think I need to be super defined. I'm not really looking to compete in anything, but I just want to feel like when I put on an outfit, I'm not trying to maybe hide my fat, or that when I turn sideways in the mirror, like I'm just feeling more confident in myself, and like...
Right. It's very obvious.
Can I say something? I think I taught Islam this a couple of days ago, but Bridget, whenever you just sense that someone is bullshitting you or whatever they say doesn't make sense, it's always good to just like slow down the conversation and call it out at that very moment. Like, I think Corbin also told us, is like, to be honest with you, like, I'm a bit confused. Like, what do you mean by this? Or like, how do you feel when blah, 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 blah. Like, if someone says that they're looking to achieve this certain result, and then suddenly they're saying that like, oh, I don't care about how fat I am. Like, that doesn't make sense. You need to call it out right there and then. But just do it in a way where you sound more confused rather than like attacking them. Like, you don't want to be like, are you sure you don't feel shit about yourself looking fat? Like, you don't want to be that, but just be more like kind of confused, like, I'm not quite sure I understand, because if you show you're confused, then they have to like backtrack and make sense of what they're saying, which makes them admit it.
Yeah, exactly right. So this lead, she immediately after contradicts herself, and she says that she doesn't care if her arms look big if she's muscular and strong, right? So which one is true? Okay, it's obviously the fat loss. So let me ask you guys, as fitness coaches, right? If somebody gets on the call with you and they are not happy with the way that they look, and they are on a weight loss journey, but they've been struggling, but most of the call they're telling you, oh, I just want to be healthy and strong, and I like having abs, and which one comes first? How are they even going to get that without the weight loss first? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. We can very easily help them stack their order of priorities, right? And there's a very specific way that we can do this, okay? So I'm skipping over a bit here, okay? Okay, so this kind of lead is like allergic to accountability. If we were to ask her straight up, which one's important to you? Which one's most important to you now, losing fat or building muscle? She would say, oh, well, they're both important to me. She's just hiding from the truth. She's trying to protect herself. Right? It makes sense for a lead that's been conditioned like this. Okay? She doesn't want to admit that she's overweight. Right? Instead, we can phrase it like this. If you could only pick one, which one would make you feel amazing right now? No longer needing to dress a certain way to hide your fat, or being able to lift heavier in the gym. Now, what do you think she's going to say?
Obviously the former.
Right. I don't have to hide my fat. Okay. And then from that moment on, this is the only pain we focus on. She's talking about the muscle gain because she doesn't want to address the truth. So, once we establish her true pain and desire, we need to get clarity on a few things in this order. This is the sales 101. This is all you need to know. In order, once we have clarity on the real pain, how long has this been going on for? What has she done to try and fix it? How would it make her feel, or how does it make her feel, continuously failing? Who asked that question? When people are saying, oh, I'm trying this, do ask your leads, how does it feel when nothing's going right? Why? This is the most accurate way to ask what are the consequences? That question does work, but it's the lazy way to it, right? If you just think about it strategically, is if you ask people, how does it feel? Failure after failure. It's asking a similar kind of thing, but you're getting way deeper answers. How does it really feel? Just not getting it right for 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. How does that feel? It feels awful.